Shalom, shalom. It is Tawny, the Neuro Mermaid. So I am swimming through recovery of a misdiagnosed stroke. So I have half done brain surgery, and I have been using social media to document my recovery. One thing I will tell you, I have noticed is the hardest thing is my confidence. I know I come to you right now in a bikini. I got the red lips on. You're like, oh, this chick. It is taking me work to get to this place. It takes work every single day. Shalom, shalom. Is it Deek River? If you follow me while I'm live, I will follow you back. So I know, here's the thing is, the world's not going to stop being crazy. People are not going to stop being crazy. We're all a little crazy in fun ways. But one thing that I know can change and help everybody's life is your mindset. And I know a lot of people coach on it. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a mermaid, but I can tell you as someone who had brain surgery and my brain naturally goes to the dark and twisty, I for sure have always been very positive for other people. I've done a lot of work looking back, and I have been diagnosed with ADHD. So, rejection sensitivity is strong. And my whole life I was always told, I'm so loud, you're too much, you're too bossy, you're too blah, 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 blah. Then the stroke happened, and that totally just, even my husband, who had dated me before the stroke, we're obviously married now, but he is like, yeah, you were much more confident then. When I talked about things, it was, this is how it is. And I sometimes see glimmers of that girl. And I feel like a lot of us can actually relate to that, because a job has either made you have to be like, I have to always ask somebody anyways, so why do I even not think my own thoughts? I don't want to say that, because I never totally fit into a box, but I definitely, for a couple years there, just started being like, I felt like I got beaten down for sure. And like someone just said that they, narcissistic relationship changed me. Absolutely. I mean, I had one of those. There were things in the relationship I said I would never have that happen, and they did. So I think with more kindness, one of my core values is empathy, because nobody knows, especially with an invisible illness, I know nobody can really comprehend what I feel like on the inside. I can try as hard as I want to try to communicate with everybody, but at the end of the day, all I hope is for compassion. And I hope that for everyone. I hope that you don't need to have a diagnosis for people to, if someone says, hey, can you slow down, or can you explain that again? I was a special education teacher, so education is very important to me. And I just wanted to take the time to share something that has helped me go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, because you can't stop bad things from happening. But instead of saying, why does this keep happening to me, I look at, what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? When things are going really bad, I've had all my social media attacked at once, and I couldn't go live, and my business is online. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to just be creative. I'm going to have to find a different way to go live. I started using Twitch. I started using other platforms. I've had someone impersonate me, try to take like single white female craziness, tell my stories as her own. I have gone through all of these crazy things, but if you talk to me, most people who meet me, you would not know that all of these horrific things that I have gone through, because I have evolved past it. Like I used to say, I'm healing and I'm healed. But I'm not healed. I'm going to have to keep evolving. There's always going to be a new Tawny. There's going to be new things that are going to be different in my recovery. For a long time, it was really hard for me to get back into yoga after the brain surgery. My equilibrium was off, all those different things. Got back into yoga. Then it was great. Now it's not again. So it's always going to be changing, progress over perfection. So here are 10 things. And if you are busy, I did make this is in my podcast. All my podcasts are under 10 minutes because I know everybody's time is precious. So I also like to share these, because when I have another brain surgery, if I come out and I don't know these things, I want to be able to listen and relearn. So the first thing you can do if you want to retrain your brain, you want to change your mindset, is You need to first of all identify what kind of mindset you are. And it's okay. Let's not beat ourselves up for having negative emotions or a negative mindset. So when something happens to you, so like if you got a flat tire, are you the type of person? And I will tell you, it has taken a lot of retraining. But my first thought is, oh, fuck, why me? It still is. And then I have to go, no, it just happened. What is this teaching me? Okay, this is teaching me that I am very lucky that, I have a husband I can call. I have AAA. So it takes practice. I'll tell you, those monks over there, it didn't happen in one night. So identify your mindset. The second thing I want you to do is look at your own improvements. See if you have grown. I bet you every single one of us can look back at a past version of ourselves and be like, oh dear God, I can't believe I said those things or I thought those things. Hopefully you are not the same person you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I'll say 6 months ago. So I can look at the fact that I do have ADHD, and I thought I was helping people when I was cutting them off, and I realize now how rude that is. And so I've really worked on trying not to cut people off or finish their sentences, stuff like that. I've also really worked on my emotion regulation after the brain injury. It was extremely hard. As happy as I would get that sad, I would get that angry. So just look at your improvements, because first of all, that is going to show you can teach an old dog new tricks, okay? And number 3 is review the success of somebody else. That's why a lot of people like to work out with other people, or you do progress reports, because if you can see that somebody else is succeeding, so maybe you are in a cooking class and you see that your friend finally was able to cook something, or maybe, you both start doing push-ups and your friend, like, I haven't consistently been doing them. So guess what? My planks have not gotten any better. But, Becky Lou over here, who's been doing them every day, seeing her success can show me. I will say I tend to go to sports people because, like Amy Purdy was somebody who, she still won an Olympic gold medal despite having legs. So I really like to look at other people who are able to overcome things. Not to make anybody else's trauma bigger than yours, but sometimes when I'm sitting there like, this is not fair, I look over and I'm like, all these other people are battling things even harder. So like, I can do this. The 4th thing is to seek feedback. So I think it's really important to always ask people. Like, I love asking, if you guys go in any of my social media, I usually try and ask, what do you want to see more of? Do you want to see more of the animals? Do you like when I go live outside? A lot of you guys, that's why I go live out here more often, because I want to share my sunshine with you. I think it's also really important when you train your team. Do they like, hello, Adam from Michigan. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And like right now, do you like these type of little short trainings? Or would you rather have them in a short TikTok in just 3 minutes? So I'm working on different things. And it's always good to just ask feedback, because I think that everybody's brain's different. And I love, like with our Spark Squad, we all learn differently. So some people love to see it written out. Some people like a visual example. Some people want to hear it auditorial. So feedback is very, very important. Number 5 is learn something new. And thank you, C-Max, you're so sweet for saying that. It's good to get yourself to learn something new, because the funny thing is, you start realizing that you need to just be nicer to yourself. You're like, you feel awkward. It's like the first time, have you ever tried to learn how to dance? Or I'm not good at the cowboy dance, the line dancing. So, or like my friend just taught us hula-ing. And what was really funny is, I can dance, I can move my body. I can move my body, but I just don't. And C-Max, yes, I do love the plant. If you go over to any of my other social media, you will see I advocate for it very hard on my other platforms. TikTok, I've just gotten too many violations. That's in fact why you can't message me. So if you go actually over to Facebook or Instagram, this morning I did a get ready with me and we seshed. And I just posted a video from last weekend when I was at a cannabis golf tournament with the gridiron greats, which was really cool, because I know we're trying to make waves with the NFL. And just if we could if they could see that it's a medicine, that so many athletes could use this plant instead of having to use pharmaceutical drugs. So that is a topic for a different day, but absolutely. So make sure you go to the link in my bio and we connect over there, because I share a lot more of that content. I even share on my Patreon. I'm working on making that like a safe, successful stoner place, because you can have free Patreon levels and other levels. So yeah, just message me on one of the other platforms, because I think it's very important to advocate for that plant. And I will admit, I fell off a little bit on it because I was sick of getting in trouble on TikTok, and everybody is like, you know, it's that thing when you go to the doctor and you're like, it hurts when I do this, and the doctor's like, well, then don't do that. And I was like, I keep getting in trouble for this, so everybody's like, just don't do that. And so I've just learned I will just advocate on the platforms that let me advocate for it. I had to take a sip because that actually takes us into number 6, which is take better care of yourself. So let's be honest, when you're sick, is your mindset great? Or are you like doomsday? You're like, everything's horrible when the weather's not nice out. So just like be kinder to yourself. And this is something I've really been trying to focus on is, you know, if your kid was learning something brand new, how would you talk to them? I can bet you right now, when you start something new, do you talk to yourself that way? Because I know I don't. If your kid went to walk and they fell, would you be like, oh my God, just give it up already. You just suck. But how many times have you tried? How many of you guys have gone over to CapCut and you went to try to edit something? I'll admit, I just got Discord. I played with it for like 20 minutes last night. And then I was like, I don't get this. If that was my child, if I don't have kids, if that was my best friend's kid, if that was one of the kids I worked with, if that was my best fucking friend, you know what I would say? I'm so proud of you for putting that time in. Are you going to try a little bit more later? Yeah, retrain your brain. So it's super important to do things like that. But it's also really important to be kind to yourself when you're learning something new. And that goes right into number 7 is be okay with making mistakes. I mean, I know for me, I learn a lot better when I make some mistakes. Like the first time I got on a dirt bike and I was like, oh my God, there's a cliff. How do I stop? And I kept putting my feet down. Boop, I went over that little cliff. Everybody's like, if you would have just taken your hand off of the gas, you would have just stopped. So that's a funny way that I learned the hard way, but I don't know about you guys. Mistakes for me, nobody likes making them, but I can tell you, you learn a lot from mistakes. And also, sometimes you have to build up those muscles, like your lives. Your very first life is going to suck. I don't care. If someone told you, oh, my first life was great, they are a liar. Nobody is great at it first. Just like nobody is great the first time they ride the bike. Maybe you have beginner's luck, but I'm going to tell you it's going to take practice, it's going to take mistakes, and it's going to take multiple mistakes for you to keep making them until you get better and you just get more comfortable. And we need to be okay with like, that's what's so hard about healing publicly, but so amazing, because I realize so many other creators are like, I have such a hard time. I'm like, I've had to publicly, like I've cried on, so many things have happened on lives because I've just realized that that's the only way I can get through and get better. I already did be kind to yourself. Be okay with making mistakes. Be kind to yourself. So wait, 5 was learn something new. 6 was take better care of yourself. 7 was be okay with making mistakes. 8 is be kind to yourself. So I already talked about all that. 9 is look for examples. Like, thank you, Lily69 for the follow. If there's someone who's done it, nobody else has your fucking life. Nobody else does, and nobody else can pretend that they understand everything that you have gone through. But you have to tell me that there are some people that have some similarities, or maybe you see that like they grew up in the same area. Maybe they're from the same country as you, or you see, you know, their parents got divorced when they were younger and they got over it. I love seeing other stroke survivors. I'm like, you aren't letting your disability hold you back. So looking for examples can help your brain see, if they did it, I can do it. And I'm telling you, every time you see someone, and you have to retrain your brain to do this, when you see someone doing fucking amazing and your little negative thing over here goes, oh wow, must be easy for them, I want you to retrain your brain right now. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. Because nobody got everything by just being totally lucky. Now, some people were born into it. We're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about most people who actually worked for their things, who actually achieve a lot. They had to work for it. It wasn't an overnight success. And then the last thing is have realistic goals. Don't be thinking I'm going to make $1 million in a month. I know that's the one thing I will say I don't like about when people talk about building a business online or monetizing your social media. You know, most of my checks from Facebook and Instagram are a couple hundred, like they're not much. It's not like you're making thousands. In fact, there is a cap on how much you can make on all of those platforms. So I think it's extremely important to realize that, you know, you have to have realistic goals. If you're like, I'm going to join, like I had 2 other jobs when I first started this and I did not quit them right away. Okay. And it does take time and energy. So for people to just say like, just join me and you'll just like lay by the pool and you'll make tons of money. Like, you know that sounds too good to be true. You know, there's got to be a little bit of work, but what I can tell you is taking out stinky trash and having to like at the school being picked, being poked at, being peed on, all the things. If you've ever worked with kids, you know, as much as we love them and I love children, it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of instances that I don't always want to have to go through. So sharing your journey online to me is so much easier. And the best thing about it is most people are weird, just like you, just like me. And I can tell you, it's so much easier to go live because I can't see you guys. So yes, I know like there's 5 of you guys on right now. And I can tell you if 5 of you showed up to the pool, you would see me. I don't have my necklace on. I would be like, okay, the awkward turtle Tawny comes out. So I've loved it because I've met some of my best friends online. I will tell you, sharing my journey has helped me so much because a lot of times when my depression makes me not want to get out of the bed, I know that there's people out there who are like, you make me smile, you make me laugh, they send me memes. So community is super important to me. So I'm glad that you shared this time with me. I hope you got some sort of value, and feel free, go to the link in my bio. I do have some podcast up, some other things, and I only did 1, but I want to do a lot more. If you have any tips, they can be about being a mom. They could be about, my friend Angela did it about knitting. It could be about honestly anything. I would love for you to be on my podcast because I think that's something so cool that everybody should be able to check off on their bucket list, that they were able to be on a podcast. So message me, Tawny the Neuro Mermaid, anywhere, and I look forward to chatting with you guys more. I know it might sound crazy to say I love you, but there's people on the internet who hate each other for no fucking reason. So I'm gonna send love your way. You haven't done anything wrong to me, so I'm gonna keep loving you. And I understand I'm the same way. I don't like talking about my weight loss surgery, right? I have a couple of friends who had weight loss surgery. It's actually interesting. I lost 50 pounds of fat, and I get asked a lot of times, they're like, how did you have to get a tummy tuck? Did you have to, like, how did you get your stomach to go back? And I'm like, collagen twice a day. But my stomach did look like a little raisin for a little bit there, all that extra skin. I looked like I was pregnant, for sure. And that's why for a while I stopped posting. It was actually funny. Someone's like, oh, you probably stopped posting your body because you gained it all back. And I'm like, I didn't. I felt bad because I had some people on my account start being like, you know, and I'm like, I don't want people to think that you have to have a certain size body. I was just proud because I've never felt comfortable in a bikini, and I finally like look in the mirror and I'm excited to see like who's looking back at me. So I'm like, and as a female, it took me 35 fucking years to finally like the skin that I'm in. I have gained a little bit more than I was a lot skinnier, but I was getting too skinny. So my goal this year is to build muscle. And so that's why I haven't really been showing before and betters, because I'm hoping it'll be soon, like just muscles. I mean, I don't know, in the back, can you guys tell that I've been? I feel like before it was just super skinny and now we're getting a little bit better. But don't hide yourself just because someone makes some comments. So if you want to share it, share it. And that's the cool thing about the internet. For every one jerky comment, there's like 5 or 10 nice ones, and they do outweigh it. So I hope that helps. Love you guys. Bye. Boop. I love the boops. You gotta boop it. Boop.